Hello and welcome back. I hope. Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like it that we're live again. It's a Thursday evening. I decided to go black on black, like half black background, black clothes. It's just like one of these days where that works just best. We are back, and you hopefully are back at the Salesforce, the English speaking part, the international one. And today we'll look at like one of the most important topics, and one of the most common topics which lands on my desk, and the old time long question: why does my sales not work? Why isn't it working? Why? Um, there are many reasons for that, and there's a long list of reasons, but you can help yourself out. So let's assume your sale is not on the notch you want it to have. The first thing you have to figure out is there are two parts of every sales and every sales you do. The first part is which skill set you use. The second part is which attitude you bring to the table, aka your sales. The thing about skills is that, as heartbreaking it is, there's a lot of bullshit skills there out there. The old and long debunked myth of hard selling. It's not like it's still around, and scamming and con artists and awful stuff is still using, and hard sales techniques are still quite commonly used, even that there are studies on it that they don't even work on the level you want to achieve. But since most people are never assumed that there's any kind of scientific background in sales, and it's just like someone open up their mouse and then magic appears and then you have a client, or that you have to pressure people into buying for weird reason, that's also something people assume. As long as the hard sales will stick around, we don't get rid of it. But in the end, it's kind of that hard sell skills is, if you use them and irritated that they're not working, it's the skill side. There's also stuff that you probably picked up a skill, or use techniques or even strategies not suitable for your business model. So all that hype around high ticket sales, or there are even business models on that, or you just throw on some ads and you can call it either growth hacking, performance marketing, or what the heck. But like that's kind of like the mystical creature. There's always there's always very much magic involved in sales. If I talk about it, it's always like there's something magical happening here. Not that it's kind of like a very down to earth work. Really, it's more like building a table. Sales is really more building a table than kind of like mystical stuff. Really not. So if your sales is not working, you of course have to look at the skill side, the techniques and stuff you use. But on the other side, and that's kind of like in the room, if you do your sales for your own business. So if it's not that you have a sales team which is not working, then it's normally processes and skills, but you do your own sales. Why do you do your own sales? That's probably a good question, because to at least one part, no matter how big the company, the final CEO is always kind of the last sales spokesperson. If you think about famous CEOs, go with the big names. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, just to name two of the most famous we think about, but even Bill Gates or anything else. Like if you have that real famous CEO type, what are they doing? Right, they're selling their products, they're selling their companies. So yes, it's still that even if you have a big company, if you want to be assumed at that level, yeah, you have to do your own sales. The smaller the company, the more important it gets that you do your own sales. And think about all the companies we consult are normally small to medium sized companies. Yes, we do the big crazy shit, but that is like me, the nerd, and I'm paid for asking questions. That's kind of like most part of my day. But that's kind of like there you have that double function. Think about your solopreneur, or you have even a small team. And then it's in that you have to do your own sales. And while some people think they do sales, it's mainly marketing they do. They talk a little bit how cool we are, but then at the pitch, what can I buy from you? And if you're in that kind of room and combined with whatever skill level you are, there is one missing ingredient. And the real reason why most, especially women, don't sell on the level they can sell No, it's not mindset. Nope, I'm very sorry. It's your sales confidence. And if mindset would be the only problem, believe me, I would sell so many mindset courses. You will not even think about it. Why should I hustle around and tell you otherwise if mindset is the solution to everything? Yeah, really. No, it says confidence. But if we look at it, it's kind of a weird thing because most people never assume that there are specific confidences. Confidence all over is a very broad concept. And even from a more research perspective, it's kind of that you think like, oh, that's a confident person. It's not really that you think like someone is probably very confident in a specific kind of way or situation. And if you look at your own confidence level, even if you are a very confident person, but if you do something new, you're probably not very confident in how you handle that situation. So confident can be very specific and can be very situational. But most people don't know that. And first of all, second of all, they don't assume that it's kind of a thing. But it is a big thing. The thing is, it's situational and contextualized. And third, it's depending on how secure you feel. If you tell people just be bold and be brave, yeah, that's kind of like, you know, how I got my first million because I read that good quote on Instagram. It's kind of the same thing. So the third factor is always about security. And if you don't feel secure, if you feel frightened that you will be attacked, your sales confidence will not be on a certain kind of level. And that kind of like tells you the story of why, if we're talking about sales confidence or even business entrepreneurial confidence, what's there is bad as with a big heart, what's it's all about that, is a very female driven problem. Not female driven problem is kind of the wrong phrasing. It is that we all as women went down a rabbit hole which we didn't decide on, we went down, but we all have like one point in of our CVs where we went from yeah cool to oh, that world isn't built for me. And we realized that something between 12 and like our early 20s, we realized nope, 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 we're gonna be judged differently. And if you think about intersectionality, so if you have even a different skin tone, there are your sexuality and stuff like that comes into place, you go down the road with even more diversity, which means your confidence level go down, and especially in sales, because what is sales all about? You show up. That's the first and most reason to do a good sales is show up. But as soon as you show up, there is resistance. There are dumb people out there who will probably get you back. On the other hand, if you show up for sales, you have a certain goal in mind. And let's be honest, most of us get a little bit stressed out if we have a target in mind or if we have like a long list of open to-dos. Are you one of these? You know, like sitting still on your sofa, let's say 9 p.m., and still thinking about your never-ending to-do list and feeling bad about it? Yep, not a good thing in sales. If you have that, sales will screw you over. Because you always have a very long list of people you didn't talk to, people you didn't close, people you didn't help, and people you didn't respond. Yeah, that's why sales is testing your stress levels. But your stress levels, on the other hand, are highly correlated to how confident you can handle your stress. So you see, it's all about that. And that's why I'm calling it sales confidence. Sales confidence is the magic ingredient, and it's also the baseline. You have to work on your sales confidence, and that's one thing. It's not easy sometimes, because as soon as you work on your sales confidence, you get into that room where some hard questions, not only your business but probably in your private life, has to be asked. They will be at least in your mind, and then you have to move on from that. So if your sales does not work and you have a small to medium-sized company, then for sure one big part of that it's not working is sales confidence. How do you now train with your sales confidence and how to get out of that? First of all, acknowledge it's not a mindset problem. Acknowledge it's not a mindset problem. Sales confidence is not a mindset problem. It's not with magical thinking or changing your mindset you will change your confidence. If that would be that easy, back to why do I sell something else instead of mindset? Right. To work on your sales confidence, you really have to be kind of work on these three things. First of all, there has to be security. Work on your security level. You have to feel secure. If you listen to more than one show of sales inspiration or anything on our YouTube channel or here on the Facebook page, you will see that I always tell you in the starting point, pick a good time for your sales. Don't do it out of like you're already stressed out. It's all about that security. If you're not feeling secure, if you're not feeling in the mood for like that, at least for like the certain amount that you do your video or do something in interaction with the world outside, or even if a first lesson with anyone or so, consulting strategy, stuff like that, then yeah, you will lack the security level, which means you will lack the sales confidence, which then means, and that's kind of like the awful thing, the client lost confidence. Why? Very simple. Think about like you have a coaching business and you coach on, let's say, relationships. And your client is now sitting there 3 o'clock in the night and figure it out. Okay, it's time for me. I need to get help. I cannot figure that shit out alone. They lost confidence and knowledge that they can help themselves. Not a good thing to feel. And now they search for a coach who can help them. And there's one coach, probably it doesn't even the skill level matters, because like back to our client cannot assume how skilled someone is, because why the hell should he or she know how skilled a coach is? So that coach, doesn't matter the skill level, does a very confident job of, yes, I can help you. We sit down and we'll bring you out of that rut. I will help you with a relationship. So let's call him James. And then we have Jenny. Jenny is an excellent, she even has a PhD in psychology and a specialized training, 6 different kinds of in relationships. But when she does her sales, it's like, yes, and yeah, it can be, I can offer you. So as soon as she starts opening her mouth, it's kind of not the confidence showing that my freaking client now needs. So who do you think someone picks? James, who looks like the confident person who can solve my problem, or Jenny, who probably isn't the better solution, but doesn't seem confident to pitch me that I should buy her service? Yeah, you probably will go with James. And that's even without a gender bias. It's awful. Yeah. So the baseline of that, they both probably did an awful good or an awful worse job. And even if Jenny was trained on a very high sales skill level, if the confidence not showing, yep, the other guy wins. So if you probably are a little bit longer in the market, you know that how you sometimes can be annoyed the shit out of people. We're like thinking, damn it, why do they have more clients than me? Or they don't even do a good job. How? Yeah, yep. And even if you assume like on a certain kind of level, the skill set of people is good, then if you have now, let's say, who can we take? I'm bad at names sometimes. Let's go with Matisha and Wednesday. I think that's fun. So Matisha and Wednesday. Guess who I'm thinking about. So Matisha and Wednesday, both very well trained, back to our relationship problem, very well trained relationship coaches, both with a PhD. But back to Matisha goes with $200 an hour, and it's not and offers you that, you know, looking down instead looking you in the eye. And Wednesday taking 500 grand an hour, but tells you, girl, get yourself an appointment now. I can help you tomorrow. It's early, but I make it possible. Who do you think you're gonna buy from? Yep. Even if we have a spread of 200 to 500 to $300 difference, the more confidence part will. So even if we assume that the skill level is the same and on a certain kind of professionality, the skill level is the same, it's just that sometimes it's a better fit for one person or another person, because yes, I think it will matter differently if you go to Matisha or Wednesday. But in the end, it's also about how confident and how driven someone's esteem by telling me I have to book their services. And the more desperate I am, the more I'm even disappointed about myself that I cannot get out of myself, then it's even more important. Also, let's think about sales confidence on a little bit kind of a different scenario, and that's kind of getting where it's getting interesting is if you have these clients who will never tell you that they're kind of like that they buy for ego. That's kind of a fun thing. Probably thinking I ever should do a video on that. That kind of like why people buy from these ego guys, especially the ego guys. I think we have that in our market everywhere, where you really think like, you really book that instead of like, yeah, I think we'll do that in German. If you're interested in that English, comment down below if you would see that. But people are not self-assured in finding a solution. That's always if you're selling services, and even if you're like selling a book or like just a product or so, assume that people have to be at least fine with themselves, that they don't get them out, that can help them not help themselves. So if you don't assume and don't reassure them with your confidence that they're right with you, you will end up in a different kind of place. So the magic ingredient in sales, no, not mindset, that's one part of like a kind of like a third clue to it. But in the end, it's really about the sales confidence part, which is a much broader and bigger concept than just like talking about mindset. And don't go down that sales mindset route, please. Don't. It's just like it burns you money, and then it just will take you longer until you end up on my desk, and that's not pretty. So work on your sales confidence, use the good times, and first of all, and second of all, work on your security level in sales. That's kind of like the really, really important one, that you feel secure with yourself. That's kind of the baseline of everything in sales. So skills, yes, important, and you can, with the proper skill set, a whole lot of different conversion is possible. But on the other hand, sales confidence, and be confident in that it's much more important than you will ever think about it. So that was our international salespiration. We see each other again next week, as always. And yeah, if you want something from us, like, comment, share, whatever on that platform, so either Facebook or YouTube, and we'll love to hear from you, and hope you see you soon again. Bye bye.